In this video, we will represent how atomic models evolved with time. With the start of the 19th century, Dalton put forward his ideas about atoms. From his experiments and observations, he suggested that atoms are like tiny hard balls. He defined an element as a substance made from only one type of atom. This element cannot be broken down into any simpler substance. So, if you have one type of atom, then it is an element, and it cannot be broken down into any simpler substance. Dalton proposed that each chemical element has its own atoms, which are different in mass from other chemical elements. So if we have two different chemical elements, then they'll have different atoms, and these atoms are different because of their different masses. Dalton believed that atoms are the fundamental building blocks of nature, and he said that in chemical reactions, atoms would rearrange themselves and combine with other atoms in new ways. So these two elements are made up of atoms of the same type. Those atoms in a chemical reaction would combine with different atoms in different ways, forming new compounds. At the end of the 19th century, a scientist called Thomson was experimenting while applying high voltages to gases at low pressure. He found out that the particles of the beam in the tube were attracted to a positive charge, meaning that these particles must be negatively charged since they're attracted to a positive charge. Remember that opposite charges attract. And another experiment showed that it would take about 2,000 electrons to weigh the same weight of the light atom hydrogen. So he called these particles electrons. What are the characteristics of electrons according to Thomson's experiment? Well, electrons are tiny, negatively charged. The question that arises then, where do these electrons come from? Since they're small, he suggested that they came from the inside of an atom, meaning that Dalton's idea of the indestructible atom had to be revised. Now, since we have some particles inside this atom, and by that time only electrons was discovered, so Thomson proposed a different model for the atom, and he said that the tiny negatively charged electrons must be embedded in a cloud of positive charge. And what matters is that the number of these electrons must be equal to the number of the positive charges. Since atoms have no overall charge, so atoms are neutral. Their charges must all be in balance. For example, if we have 4 electrons, then we have a charge of -4. So we must have a charge of +4, so that the charges are all in balance. And Thomson called this model the plume pudding model. Thanks for watching.